Hello, hello. This is my artifact episode number 3293, probably. I'm not really sure about the artifact name. Okay, today's date is 23 April 2025. It's been almost like a morning at 7:49 a.m. I am recording this artifact very early in this morning. The reason is that yesterday I haven't really recorded the artifact. The reason was like as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of like simply editing my artifact and uploading those artifacts on the YouTube platform. I mentioned this thing in previously, so I will not gonna explain everything. Another thing is that it's a summer, yeah, and basically it's almost like a 41 degrees Celsius, 43 degrees Celsius, extremely hot. Literally it was like too much hot. Like at night at 10 p.m it's still almost like a 36, 37 degrees Celsius during the night at 10 p.m. 36, 37 degrees Celsius. That was kind of like a something temperature, a common temperature probably. Okay, and during the day it went 43 degrees Celsius. Extremely, like right now it's almost like a 7:49 a.m. It's very early morning, and right now temperature are, wait, let me check. Right now the temperature is mentioning almost like a 34 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so somewhat kind of like a little bit cold right now. Yeah, 34 degrees Celsius is somewhat cold, not somewhat cold, but still it's hot. Yeah, but as compared to the 43 degrees Celsius, 33, 34 is okay. Okay, yeah, like extremely hot, literally. Yeah, so and basically it's a summer. Okay, yeah, so it will kind of like a something like for almost like a month. Okay, and then after that monsoon will gonna start, and when monsoon will gonna start, that is somewhat little kind of like a something okayish temperature, whatever. So because of this extremely brutal temperature and kind of like a something busy and stuff like that, so that's why I haven't really recorded the artifact. But lately my artifact is kind of like a something skipping a lot. Like I'm skipping artifact a lot, literally a lot. And that is a very valid reason for that too. Uh, Temperature is not the valid reason, definitely not. But the work that I'm doing, okay, recording artifact and editing artifact, like let me tell you one thing, the things that you are actually hearing is called artifact episode. I am recording this thing since 2015, almost like a decade, and every single day. Right now this is artifact episode number 3393, so probably I have almost like a 3393 artifact right now. Okay, yeah, and I should supposed to be upload those artifacts on the YouTube platform. Okay, yeah, so which was like a really extremely so much amount of files, and this is kind of like exporting each files like a literally, yeah. So from last couple of weeks, okay, like months, yeah, probably I would say months. Okay, I'm kind of like simply exporting my artifact on the YouTube platform. So that's why I didn't really get that much time and stuff like that. But once this will gonna over, when this will gonna over, how many artifact is remaining? By the way, very less artifact is remaining. Okay, yeah, almost like a 600 artifact, 600, 700 artifact is still remaining. And by the way, within a month or next month, like it will take almost like a 1 or 2 months. Okay, yeah, because I have to handle my content creation too simultaneously this thing. So whatever, okay, but I will make sure that this will gonna happen. And I will try to make as less as I could to skip the artifact. Okay, yeah, like I'm not gonna show that I will gonna record artifact every single day, but it's just like that the work is kind of like a something like a really brutal and really kind of like a something hectic. So yeah, and basically is this thing na ki early morning, basically early morning I do have a time and do have kind of like me record the artifact, but it's like that I have some certain things at home like mopping the floor and doing the breakfast, and there are a lot of stuff at home. Yeah, I'm living with my parents, so probably I have to do some sort of help. Okay, yeah, so that's why I'm whatever. Okay, whenever I will get some sort of time I will gonna record the artifact. All right, yeah. So I will not gonna talk about all those shit stuff. Okay, yeah, let's directly jump into the question. All right. Okay, yeah. Question is, what is one simple tweak I can make to instantly add more value to my customer? Okay, yeah, that is really good question. Okay, yeah, a simple tweak. What's a simple tweak? A simple change could add so much value. What is exactly the simple tweak? Uh, um, I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Okay, let's talk about food. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing na ki basundi. Have you know basundi? If you don't really know basundi, basundi is a Indian cuisine. Specifically, it's a Maharashtrian cuisine. Okay, yeah. Maharashtra is the state of India. Okay, yeah. And in Maharashtra, we have this cuisine called as basundi. Okay, yeah. Basundi is one of my favorite. Okay, yeah, it's very sweet. It's a kind of fluid, but it's a sweet and it's really good. Okay, yeah. Obviously, it is kind of like a make like basically it's kind of like a something is this thing na ki it made of sugar literally, yeah. And people who are kind of like a diabetes and stuff like that, you shouldn't supposed to be consume basundi because it was damn sweet, literally too much sweet. Okay, yeah, too much sugar in it. Okay, yeah. But one of the important thing regarding about making the basundi is that ki, yeah, you could make the sugar as much as it's possible, but try not to make that much sugary. Okay, yeah. Like basically there is a kind of like a some certain test in basundi that it should supposed to be look little bit of sweet but little bit of something really salty and something that I don't know how do I supposed to kind of like express this term, but it's like that na ki a perfect balance between the milk and sugar, then it became kind of like a something basundi. Same thing happened with the jalebi too. Like a too much sweet is a kind of like a something not good. Okay, yeah, particular right balance is something really essential. Okay, yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that a simple tweak is kind of like a something change the game. Is it good or bad? Okay, yeah. If we add too much sugar, then probably this was kind of like a something not so good. Too less sugar, this is also really not that good. Okay, yeah. So simple tweak is kind of like a something change the entire game. Okay, yeah. Now you understand the tweak. Now what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. How do I supposed like how do I supposed to say in this my business? Okay, what is exactly my business? Okay, first of all, I have two business. Okay, yeah. Okay, two business, not two business. Okay, content creation is also a business. Okay, YouTube is kind of like a thing that I'm doing right now. Okay, yeah, and I'm kind of like uploading my content regarding about Photoshop, photography, graphic designing. These are kind of like a assembly genre, and I'm making my content regarding about that particular genre. Okay, yeah. Now, how do I supposed to improve or tweak just little bit to my content to kind of like a make it something really good? How do I supposed to do that? How do I supposed to make my content something a little change, but it add something really very balance? What exactly that? What exactly is this thing in my content? um Regarding about balance, I would probably say it's something that na ki um okay, okay, let me explain this thing regarding about Basundi and regarding about the content creation. Okay, yeah. So Basundi is a kind of like a something cuisine. Okay, yeah. And basically is this thing you can make the Basundi as good as possible as you can. Alright, yeah. But once you made your Basundi as good as you make, then there is very less chances that you would kind of like improve your basundi or this basundi cuisine. Okay, yeah, once you make the perfect, yeah. But I shouldn't supposed to be use this perfect terminology in my content creation. Why? Content creation is a creativity, it's a flexible. Okay, it's not rigid, it's not solid, it's not perfect. Okay, yeah. You always try to blend with something, try to figure it out what kind of like a work as best as you can. Okay, yeah. And basically it's not that kind of like a something a thing that something like if I add one single spoon of sugar then it will be kind of like a something really good. No, creativity is filled with lot of complex terminology. Okay, yeah, sometime good, sometime bad, sometime it's very flexible, very flexible. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing in my content creation, yeah, like regarding about the upgrading my content creation, I would do that. Okay, I would kind of like a something like add this thing or make it my graphic designing as good as possible as I can. I should supposed to be take care of regarding about Photoshop photography that key using my asset is always be high definition and stuff like that. Yeah, there are a lot of stuff that I should supposed to be take care. Okay, yeah. But it's not that kind of like a one thing that I should supposed to be tweak it and kind of like a something make it my content as good as great or as balanced. It's not. Okay, yeah. Like let me tell you one thing now. There is a one content that I kind of like a something design. Okay, yeah, one design. I kind of like a doing that design, and while I was doing that design, I complete that design, and I didn't really like that. Okay, I literally just I didn't really like that particular design, and it's something that na ki it's really feel really awful. Okay, yeah, I didn't really love it, but because of I don't really have a kind of like a time to improve or change that thing, I just upload as it is. Okay, yeah, I upload as it is on the YouTube and Instagram platform. That design, people loves it. People likes it. People kind of like a something put likes and comments and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a something making a such a cuisine or such a dish where you don't really like it, but people like it, or maybe you like it, then people like it, or it's kind of like a something mixture between all those things. Okay, yeah, it's something that key you have to be figure it out what is actually the right balance, and still you are kind of like a using lot of combinations and stuff like that, but still it's it's something that na ki you just have to keep improving regarding about what is actually best at that moment and try to improve that thing. That's it. Okay, yeah, there is no kind of like a something a specific or stagnant kind of routine or steps or kind of like a something following, nothing really at all. It's creativity. Okay, yeah, and creativity is always be a flexible, it's not kind of like a something stagnant and things like that. So adding any simple tweak will not gonna work. Okay, yeah, but yeah, there is a one thing that I did it, it's not a simple tweak, but okay, so what is at least this thing. So in my regarding about the content creation, graphic designing, content creation, I first of all I draw kind of like a stuff on piece of paper regarding about what is actually my design. It's a kind of like a something the sketchboard. Okay, yeah, like pre-visualization that ki how do I supposed to my design look like that. So I kind of like create that design as rough as it could possible in kind of like a white paper. Okay, yeah. And when I have that pre-visualization, then I just kind of like take the photo and design everything in the Photoshop. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this thing, like a couple of days ago, I was kind of like realized that what if I could kind of like upload the pre-visualization board. What's a pre-visualization board? Like basically the simple drawing that I draw with my hands with very rough sketch. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this thing when people loves that design and they kind of like a swipe that and they realize that, oh, this is a kind of like a rough sketch of this design. Okay, yeah. So people are associate with that design as much, like instead of giving them a kind of like a fully cooked recipe, you have to also give them kind of like a simply what recipe or what kind of like a ingredient that you use to make this recipe. It's kind of like a simply before and after image. Okay, yeah. Like how is kind of like a before the image was kind of like a simply doodling and kind of like a rough sketch, but after the Photoshop and after I make my design, it kind of like look really professional. So it add some sort of values, and I kind of like started uploading pre-visualization images in my content creation too, which kind of like a something add little bit values in my content creation somewhat. Okay, yeah. Like people would kind of like a something understand or kind of like a something figure it out, that this is something really before the picture and this kind of like something after the picture. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it like this is kind of like a something simple tweak. Probably I'm doing this. Okay, yeah, to kind of like a something improving my content creation, and my content creation is also kind of like a something business too. So yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like a simply one business that I mentioned. Okay, yeah, content creation. I have also another business too. What do you mean by that? Like I didn't really have another business. I am trying to kind of like a something make this as a business. What is exactly my business? Okay, yeah. First of all is that my next business. Okay, yeah, is it's a very hard to explain, but still. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of like a things that you are actually hearing is called artifact episode. I mentioned this thing multiple times, but still, the things that you are actually hearing in the YouTube platform, like this, is called artifact episode. Okay, yeah. What is actually artifact? Artifact episode is a kind of like a something journaling, like basically the people who wrote the diary every single day. This is exactly as it is, but instead of writing, I'm recording this thing. Okay, yeah, like what is actually happened and stuff like that. Alright, yeah. I am doing this thing since 2015, every single day. Okay, yeah. Basically is this thing because of this recording artifact, I kind of like a connect with myself, understand myself. My decision making is improved, my thought process is improved, my perspective looking at the world perspectives improve. Okay, yeah. Like basically it improve my internal thing. Okay, yeah. If you wanted to look at me as an external point of perspective, I am really fuck all person. What do you mean by that? From external point of perspective, I am 31 living with my parents and not earning any money. Okay, yeah. So probably from this point of perspective, you would say I am really focal person. So yeah, you would kind of like a judge me regarding about that, and I am not stopping you to do all these things. Okay, yeah. But artifact is a kind of like a something improving from inside. Okay, yeah. Literally, I went to very health situation regarding about my life decision and choices and stuff like that. I make horrible mistakes, and because of this thing, I wasted so much amount of time. Okay, yeah, literally so much amount of time. Okay, yeah. But still I do have a hope to make my life as better as I could, and I still have a hope that I will make my life is as best as I want to. Okay, yeah. This belief is actually happened is because of artifact episode. Yeah. So I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. It's a kind of like a something stuff that you should supposed to be experience instead of listening this thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically it's driving the Lamborghini. Okay, yeah. Like probably you could see the Lamborghinis, how good it is, how bad it is, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. But unless drive the Lamborghini, you haven't really experienced how good it is, or how, yeah. So this is what exactly as it is. Like when you try to experience this thing, you understand the potential of that. Okay, yeah. So this is what kind of like a simply artifact. A year ago, I had this idea that what if I kind of like a simply make a app and people will start recording their artifact. What do you mean by that? So basically, my idea is that I have to make a app, okay, like a kind of like a simply audio recorder app, okay, so that people will kind of like a record their artifact. Okay, yeah. Now there is a one catch, is that I will gonna upload this artifact on internet. Okay, like people will gonna record their artifact, and that artifact will gonna went to public, or will gonna went to internet, so that people will kind of like a simply listen those artifact. Okay, why? Okay, why? Okay, yeah. It is been really very essential to inspired. Okay, yeah. Like as a human species, we actually inspired from each other. Okay, yeah. And because of when we inspired, we grow. Okay, yeah. Example, uh, almost like a hundreds or 500 year ago, we are actually kind of like a fighting with like thousands of year ago, we are actually fighting with stones, and kind of like a some sort of weapon that we created by the stones. Okay, yeah. After 500 year, we actually fighting with the swords and kind of like a something stuff. Okay, yeah. After 500 ago, 500 after like basically after 200, we are kind of like a fighting with the guns and so much versatile weapons. Okay, what do you mean by that? It means that we actually improve our fighting techniques. Okay, yeah, like thousands of years ago, we are fighting with a stone, then swords, then we have guns and machines and stuff like that. Thousands of years ago, we are kind of like living in caves. Then after that, we are kind of like living in some sort of trees. Then after that, we are living in some sort of kind of like a house that made of clay. And right now we are living in such a houses where kind of like a made of kind of like a cement and stones, and kind of like something really good. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing, the method that we are doing, we are constantly inspired and improvising our stuff every single day. Okay, regarding about how do we supposed to drive the car, how, where do we supposed to stay, where do, lot of stuff, lot of stuff. And that is called kind of like some improvement and development. This is actually happened when you have a inspiration, when you have a kind of like some sort of a base structure that we could kind of like somebody improve. All right, yeah. This is what artifact would kind of like simply work. What do you mean by that? It means that when people will gonna record the artifact, okay, yeah, it will kind of like a went to the public, went to the kind of like a simply internet. Okay, yeah. So that people will listen the artifact. Okay, yeah. And basically when they listen, when people will gonna listen the artifact, okay, they would kind of like somebody inspired, they would kind of like somebody connect with that particular story or particular things is actually happen with them. Example, that there is a guy who actually went through breakup. Okay, yeah. And he was actually talking about all this breakup story and stuff like that in the artifact. Now that artifact will kind of like somebody listened by thousands of people. Now thousands of people, they are also connect with that, because some of the people are also resonate with this particular process. Like some of the people are also understand that how much breakup is hurtful and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And they actually kind of like somebody resonate that I do went through kind of like some breakup things, and I also wanted to share that particular thoughts. Okay, yeah. So because of this guys recording artifact, other person got inspired, and he will gonna start recording this thing. Okay, yeah. But why? Yeah, but why? Okay, yeah. Like, is it necessary? Well, it's really essential to us, to a human being, to kind of like something elaborate or express. Okay, yeah, we are humans, and we have kind of like a simply very good thing that we have is that we could communicate. Okay, yeah, like we have this mouth and we could talk with each other, we talk with each other, share the thoughts and stuff like that. No other species could do the stuff that we do. Like basically, yeah, like other species could talk like a barking and stuff like that, but it's like that now the way that we do the communication is none of the species could do the kind of like a something as we could do. Okay, like basically we could speak, we could body language, we could, yeah, it's a lot of things. And when we kind of like express our thoughts and stuff like that, we feel really good. We feel that something I just express and someone, I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Have you ever kind of like somebody experience this thing is like a basically you are talking with your girlfriend for an hour and you are kind of like expressing stuff and stuff and stuff like that. You feel really good, you feel that ki you just kind of like a express like you, I don't know how do I, like thoughts is kind of like a stuff that how much you share it kind of like a something grow bigger, it kind of like a something feel good. And this is what it is like a, like when you express the stuff inside of you, you release the stress, you feel really good, you kind of like a understand who you are and what you are. And as also you realize about your action is that ki, the action that you did is right or wrong. Okay, yeah. So communication is really understand is really essential for the human being. But because of we are living in such a world where communication is not actually happen. Yeah, literally just like because of we have internet and WhatsApp and everything, we have so many ways to communicate, but all of those, it's not kind of like a something that ki helping us to communicate, nothing really at all. Like basically I have this free internet recharge that I could speak with anyone. I have this calling feature that I could talk with ultimate amount of time, unlimited amount of time with anyone. But having all those things still I won't be able to communicate is because of that ki we always kind of like simply bother regarding about that ki how does people will think. Okay, yeah, how does people will kind of like a simply, I don't know, it's kind of like a simply expressing our thoughts with someone else. It is really essential to be that who is that someone else. Okay, yeah. And probably when you are trying to expressing your internal things and stuff like that now, you actually mention those thoughts with only one person, and that person is your significant other. Means like that your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband and wife, that's it. Okay, besides you won't be able to share this internal thing with anyone. Okay, yeah, not even the family, not even any kind of like a stuff. It's kind of like a some of this stuff. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to I supposed to, like some people are kind of like expressing their emotion with a their brother, sister or friend or stuff like that, but still I'm talking about the average point of perspective. Okay, yeah. So mostly you are kind of like a something expressing your thoughts and stuff like that with your significant other. Okay, yeah. But it's like that na ki when you are kind of like expressing your thoughts and stuff like that, that means you feel that ki I am depending on that particular person to express my thoughts. Okay, yeah. And this is what artifact comes like, artifact is kind of like a eliminate that person. Means like that you have your phone, press the recorder and kind of like express everything that you want to talk. Okay, yeah. Now I have to ask this question to myself that ki is it good? Yeah, like is it good? Like basically is this thing na ki we have so many social media platform. Okay, yeah, that we could share so many stuff and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And because of this thing we are not actually communicate with each other, we are not communicate with, okay, like basically I realize like a 20 years ago or 50 years ago people usually talk with each other because the only one entertainment source was talking to each other. But right now we are living in such a world where songs, videos, internet and social medias and stuff like that, it's something that we don't really need to necessary to depend on someone to talk for entertainment. No, nothing really at all. If you wanted to entertain, just plug the earphone and that's it, you went to the another world. So so basically when you are kind of like a saying this thing that you wanna make a app and people will start gonna talking, yeah, people will start gonna talking in the artifact, that is definitely gonna true, but in the real life they will not gonna talk with anyone else. So is it wrong or is it right? Well, I don't know. Yeah, like probably you are asking this question with a very right perspective, but let me telling you my perspective, my thought process. Okay, yeah. As I mentioned, I am recording this artifact since 2015. It's been almost like a decade. Okay, yeah. And I was introvert person. I am still little bit of introvert person. Okay, but not the kind of like a something the introvert person that I was before. I was little bit something extrovert, little bit. Okay, yeah. The transition is actually, yeah, somewhat. Um, and basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that in the 10 year I was kind of like a recording the artifact. I never really felt that ki, like I kind of like a talk in the artifact that means I shouldn't supposed to talk with anyone, nothing really at all. Like basically is this thing na ki because of artifact I understand the communication. I understand like what is actually communication. A communication means like that, not just a talk. A listen to means like that you have to listen the people and stuff like that too. Okay, yeah. Like I don't really understand that fact was listening is also part of the communication. Okay, yeah. But because of artifact, I started listening and started communicating with my friends and stuff like that, and I feel really good. Like basically I do know other people perspective. I will ask them cross question, try to understand them and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. It's kind of like a something is this thing na ki like like basically okay, you are kind of like a thinking that ki if I have a one kind of like a something a candy. Okay, yeah. And if I'm kind of like a something utilize all my candy to myself, means like that if I ate all those candy, then like how much candy remaining for other, nothing really at all na. Yeah, this is actually happened when with the physical stuff, like you have kind of like a some limited amount of candy or stuff like that. But communication is not the thing. Like a communication is a kind of like a stuff that when you express a lot, you try to talk a lot. Literally you talk. I don't know how to supposed to explain this thing. It's like that our thoughts are kind of like a something grow bigger when you share those things. Okay, yeah. And this is what kind of like simply artifact do. And basically it's, I don't know, like I don't really have any kind of like a something of physical evidence to prove you that key because of the artifact episode I am talking less. Like literally I am kind of like a somebody person that I would talk very less to the people, like literally around with people around me. They actually mentioned that I would talk very less. Okay, yeah. And that is somewhat true. That is true. It is kind of like my personality that I didn't really talk that much. Okay, yeah. But it's like that na ki it doesn't mean that ki I would not talk that much or talk that less. It's not. I don't know how do I supposed to express this stuff. It's it's kind of like something is this thing na ki like when I record the artifact episode, I feel really good. I feel really great. Okay, yeah. And when I will have opportunity to talk with someone else, I also talk with someone else too. Okay, yeah. I do have some certain topics to talk. I do have some certain kind of like some things to talk. It is that thing. It's okay. So basically is this thing na ki I never really feel that ki when I kind of like a some recording artifact, then I am kind of like a not talking with anyone else. It never really happened. Okay, it also depend on who do I want to talk. Like basically in my life there are so many people that I don't want to talk. Okay, yeah. So I kind of like a something like that I don't want. Okay, yeah. Example is this thing that ki like I never really talk with my father. Yeah, like a communication with me and with my father is like a like very less. Like literally we just talk about that ki kind of like something very essential stuff like आपने खाना खाया, like have you ate your dinner, or kind of like something just kind of like something just usual stuff. That's it. Okay, yeah. And I didn't really and I didn't really talk with my father, like never, like literally never. Yeah. And why I think that na ki is because of the father. Yeah, like basically in Indian community, father is a kind of like a somebody person who would kind of like a somebody you would express a lot, means like that ki your father is a head of family. Okay, yeah, like basically my communication with my mother is really good, but communication with my father is like really less. Okay, and this is kind of like a something aura regarding about as being a father, means like that if you are a father of someone, that means you should supposed to be kind of like a something act as a tough and stuff like that. I didn't really made the rule, by the way, like this is kind of like a part of Indian community that ki as a father you should supposed to be talk only if it's very essential. Okay, yeah, and this is what kind of like a stuff it is. That's why I didn't really talk with my father that much. Okay, yeah, and this is not just my story, it's a kind of like a somebody every Indian or every guy story who kind of like a something a communication with the father is a very less, literally very less. Okay, yeah, so basically is this thing na ki um then why are you not talking with your father, why are you not try to communicate with your father? Well, like basically this thing na, when the communication is meant to be happen, like if I wanted to try to communicate with person, okay, yeah, I need a kind of like a something like that a base level is equal base level. What's the equal base level? Equal base level means like that na ki the person that you are talking is also resonate with your thought process, your understand, your feeling, and something that na ki you are at the kind of like only something same level. Example, oh yeah, you are kind of like a talk with your colleague, you are talk with your best friend and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, but you will not gonna talk with your senior that much. Why? Because senior is a kind of like a something stuff that it's above our level. Okay, yeah, and this is what it is like basically we communicate as a human, we communicate with each other with a same level. Okay, yeah, what is same level? A same level means like that regarding about career point of perspective, regarding about the the designation point of perspective, regarding about yeah everything, yeah, literally just like that na ki this is what it is. So we just actually communicate with the kind of like a something same level of people. Okay, yeah, so like have you ever experienced that ki like a there is a guy who is kind of like a somebody very smart person in your school or class. Okay, yeah, you would talk very less with that person. Why? Because he's a smart person na. Okay, yeah, it's a kind of like a somebody something like that a level up guy. Okay, yeah, you would kind of like a somebody talk with such a person who is kind of like a somebody at same level. Okay, this something is this thing. Okay, yeah, so so basically you just mentioned that ki you like you and your father has a kind of like a somebody very gap between the level, so that's why you don't really communicate. Yeah, that is correct. Then why do you communicate with your mother? Well, talking with my mother is a very different story. Yeah, because I think that na ki I usually connect with my mother. I usually share my thoughts, whatever it is. Like I don't really share that much, but still, as a compared to my father, I do kind of like a sharing my thoughts with my mother and stuff like that, because I don't know, mother feel very easy to talk. Okay, yeah, and base same thing goes with the sister too. Okay, yeah, like if you have kind of like a somebody elder sister, you could talk. Okay, yeah, but regarding about as a male point of perspective now I'm talking about as because I'm a male. Okay, yeah, and I kind of like a resonate with my mother a lot, I kind of like a resonate with my sister a lot, but I didn't really resonate with my father a lot, nothing really at all. But it's kind of like only opposite happened with if you are a female person, means like that if you are a female person, that means you are resonate with your father as well as your mother and as well as a brother and stuff like that too. Okay, yeah, but as a male guy you would kind of like a something not resonate with your father that much. Like it's my thought process. Okay, and I think this is kind of like a somewhat true in the rest of the world, that most of people like basically from Indian point of perspective, because in Indian community father is kind of like a somebody act as a provider, act as a kind of like a somebody leader of the family and stuff like that. So like that's why we didn't really kind of like a somebody talk that much with kind of like a somebody leader, because like a unequal level probably. Okay, yeah, dude, the question was that ki how do you supposed to tweak a simple thing that improve your business and stuff like that. How, what is exactly that, what is exactly kind of like a simply tweak the simple thing in your business? Well, first of all is that na ki this is the idea that I have, okay, regarding about the artifact, regarding about this making this app and stuff like that. I didn't really make this app, and I will gonna make this app, okay. Like right now I didn't really make this app, but I will, okay. Yeah, I didn't really have that much resources right now. Resources means like that, first of all money. Yeah, I don't really have that much money, okay. Yeah, to build the app and stuff like that. Yeah, I wanted to build the app, like I could make the app right now, like I could kind of like watch some sort of tutorials and kind of like make an Android app and stuff like that. And I did try, but because of this thing I kind of like disturb my content creation and other things too. So basically is this thing that ke, and only answer that I get is a kind of like somebody I hire. I should supposed to be hire a kind of like a somebody developer who could make the app for me, okay. Yeah, but hiring that particular developer required some sort of money too, and I don't really have that much money, okay. Yeah, but I will gonna make this particular app, okay. Yeah, so regarding about the question, how do I supposed to kind of like a tweak little bit to improve my business and stuff like that? Well, probably is this thing I didn't make the app, okay, and this is my thought process, this is my idea, this is kind of like a stuff. And how do I supposed to say that if I didn't really make any kind of like a something app, how do I supposed to tweak it and kind of like make it better? No, like basically regarding about the content creation, that I am doing the content creation, that's why I am kind of like a saying all those things that came I could do those things to improve my content. But regarding about building an app, I don't know what is exactly the challenges that I would face while building the app. Okay, because I didn't build the app, so that's why. So there is a lot of gonna challenge, but I will gonna do some sort of tweak to kind of like a something, add some sort of improvement stuff and stuff like that. There is a lot of rooms to improvement when you have the app and stuff like that. All right. So this is it. I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.